Hey gang, Diana here today. Welcome back to the studio. I know I've been gone for a while and I thought I would give you some information about where I've been and cover a book cover. So give me a minute. I just want to put this up on Facebook. I'm not expecting many people because I didn't really give any information that I was doing this. So let me just put that there. Okay, so I'm back, and let me I'll sort of get started here, and then I'm going to tell you the story. I just get comfortable here. So what have I got? First of all, I've got bone folder, pen, random shiny acorns, and I have a book project that I started back in maybe March, before my hand got really bad. And I'm going to eventually Coptic stitch this book together. And I will take you through that process when I am able to do that. In the meantime, I wanted to just give you some tricks on how to cover, create your covers. So look at, if I'm being slow and whatever, just bear with me. I'm doing my best. What happened was, okay, let me tell you about this paper. This is eco-dyed paper. I think you can see, you should be able to see some leaf pattern in there. This was probably boiled, but I'm going to go ahead, and what you need to do is leave at least 3/4 of an inch everywhere. You have to be able to go, when you're creating a book cover, you need to go around this thickness and overlap the cover. So let's get the sizing right here. You can measure by all means. I just generally look at it, and then I'm going to just put a little mark where I want this, about there, and just fold it so I know that it's somewhat straight, and then I'll just tear. And this is unfussy bookbinding. Okay. Now, while I'm doing, and this is important, I've cut this. This is a Davy board or book board. I think this is available at Blick, and I will, when I can, leave a link below. I'll leave an affiliate link for you guys. Now, what I'm doing is I'm taking my bone folder here. And another tip on your bone folder, I know people are using a Teflon bone folder a lot these days. I don't have one, but if you have one, I hear they're great. If you don't, I have always taken my brand new bone folder and I soak it in olive oil. You can soak it in any kind of oil, including, I knew a guy who used to soak his in motor oil, and it gave it a really dark look, and it was beautiful. But I just use whatever oil I have in the cupboard. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around these edges and just take the sharp edge off. And I even round the corners. So what happened was, I had, as some of you might remember, I had tendonitis here and here in my hand. So I got 2 shots, 2 cortisone shots, and I was in therapy, and my hand was sort of getting better, but sort of not. Anyway, eventually I was really, really feeling terrible. Just aching all over, tendinitis, what felt like tendinitis everywhere. Went to a rheumatologist finally, and it turns out that I have fibromyalgia. And that is going to be a little tricky for a while. I have gotten onto one medication, and I have begun a swimming program, which is helping with the pain and the stiffness. And I am I'm waiting now to get a prescription for Lyrica. And I'm sharing this because if you have fibromyalgia, maybe my experience can help someone else. So the Lyrica, if you are interested, is super expensive, like $400 a month, but they have a program, and that's really, if you go to their website, there's a program that if you don't have $400 a month to spend on Lyrica, you can get it at a either reduced rate or free. So that's what I'm waiting for now. So I've gone around and I'm softening these edges. It doesn't seem like you got like kind of big deal, but it kind of is a big deal to do this. It really makes a big deal at the end of your project, and especially these corners too. Just go sort of around these corners, and you're good. And do both sides. So that's where I've been. I have been just trying to deal with the fibromyalgia and also this tendinitis that is still in my hand despite the cortisone shots. But I think that's probably fibromyalgia as well. But anyway, it's really been difficult to deal with. So I'm trying to have some fun. Okay, that's looking pretty good, that one. And you can see I could have taken some more off of this, but I'm not going to worry about that now. Okay, I'm going to grab the other book cover and do the same thing. I really appreciate it, by the way. All of you, I've gotten so many emails and comments and messages, and I really appreciate that. I really do. I can't tell you how much that has meant to me and how much I've missed working. I really have. It's really nice. I've been up in the studio. I can usually spend about an hour and a half up here, and then I'm done. But I really appreciate all of you who have sent me notes, sent me mail, emailed, and I haven't gotten back to a lot of you, and I am sorry about that, but it's been appreciated. It's been greatly appreciated. Let me just say that. So I'm just working on this other board now, and it's really clear on this board. I'm just going to see if I can show you here. I'm going to slowly go over, and you can see, I hope, I don't know. I'm just running this over, smoothing it out, and just rounding that edge. This is sort of a picky bookbinding deal, but and I'm not much of a picky binder, but this just gives it a sort of a, what's the word? I think of it as a comfortable look. Like it feels not so sharp. I don't know. It's kind of one of those things. So just go around and buy, just go around those edges. Okay. I forget who taught me this. Yeah, I really don't remember where I picked that tip up. But I've been binding for a long time, and I don't remember everything. I'm looking for the book, I think. Oh, what was her name? She's such a great binder. Okay. Now let's move on. This is this is all watercolor paper. And as I said, I started this book way back, maybe March. It was about April that I started feeling really terrible. So it might have been March that I started this up. Okay, so I've got one piece all cut and ready to roll. Let me grab the other piece, and I'm just really roughly measuring this. Just put a pencil mark there. That's actually, I like this leaf right here, so I think I'll put I did these papers. I mean, you could go back on my blog. It's October 2018. And if you are in the Northern Hemisphere, you're having some degree of autumn. And this is a good time to do some eco dyeing if you have leaves around that are coming off of trees. All summer really is a good time to eco dye. But I think I can just probably tear that. Yeah. This is more than likely, I don't remember what paper it is. It doesn't feel heavy enough to be Stonehenge, but it's not a real expensive paper. This is just, might be good for something or other. There. That's the front. I like that. Okay. So let me put this stuff away. And make sure I have, you could use a baby wipe, or I just have a rag, a wet rag and a dry rag here. So what I'm going to use is Yes Paste. And I tried Yes Paste some years ago, bunch of years ago. And it was like a rock. It was really not good. So I gave it a shot and went over to my local store. Now, I want to show this to you because I've talked to a few people who had the same problem with Yes Paste. You see that. That is very pliable. It is not thick and dry. And the first jar I bought of this stuff was thick and dry, and I thought that was the way it was. That's what it was, but it's not. So this is, if you get the good stuff, this is great glue. It goes on really thin. I guess you could probably use a more, it's probably a bit much, professional tool. I'm using an old Visa. And what you want to do is get it started in the middle. Okay, and then come out to the edges. I did need more. Okay, so, okay. I'm just working that up a little bit, and then I'm using one of those Ranger mats. This is bigger than the Ranger one because it's the kind you buy to use in your, I think it's called a silicone mat that you use in your oven. And it's bigger. I have them in my classroom. for my students. Now, there's glue around here, so I'm going to be careful here. And I don't know what that blue stuff is, but I think I will wipe that off on a rag. My friend at the art supply store, Allegheny Art, by the way, in Jenkintown, Pennsylvania, is closing, which makes me very sad because I'm going to miss them a lot. But they are having a big sale now through the end of October. And again, it is 2017. I'm going to put that aside for the moment and grab another one. I don't know what map this is. This is somebody else's map. But basically, now I've got gluey hands. So just wiping off. You can just use, I used to use freezer paper for this. So you can use that. Now, that looks like I got some blue paint or something down here. Okay, so I'm just going to put that there like that. And I'm going to start to fold up the top and the bottom. Make sure you got this. Yeah. Okay, fold up the sides like this. This is what I do. I know this is not this is my technique for creating the covers. You want to fold in the edge, the foredge and the spine edge, right? Top, bottom, foredge, spine. That's all. You see that excess? That's all you really need. You don't need that much that I put up there. Fold that. And then once you get those folds made, let me grab my Tim Holtz tonic scissors. These have a serrated edge at the bottom and a plain edge at the top. So for the longest time, I was unaware that there was a way to use these, and I didn't like them because they gave me a serrated edge when I cut. But if you put the serrated edge at the bottom, so in other words, you should be able to read Tonic Tim Holtz, you will get a nice clean cut without the serrated edge. Serration? Who knows? Okay. So as you can see, I'm leaving a tiny bit there at the corner. And the reason you want to do that is because the corner, you want that corner to cover the book. You always have to remember in covering that there is a thickness to the book, to the board. So once again, fold the top down. Let's make sure I have enough glue there. And this does happen. I don't know what I'm picking up, some blue paint or something, I think, from this. Maybe just didn't get enough glue here. Little out of practice on this, and that's okay, as you can see. I think the main thing is trying to, yeah, it's just blue paint I've got there. Trying to get as much glue as you can without it being too much glue. Okay, so then we're going to go around the top and down and around that board and make sure you've got that. You sort of put some muscle into it. All these tiny details really make for a better finished project. Now, I still don't have enough glue under here, so I'm just going to do that. Okay. Now let's do the tail again. And you could use any kind of paper for this. I know Joggles has some really beautiful Lacta paper designs I might use on the inside cover. I haven't figured out what I am going to use on the inside cover. Yeah, not enough glue again. See, I'm really not used to this Yes paste. So that's what the problem has been here, is I'm not getting enough paste on there. So, but the nice thing about the Yes paste is it doesn't ooze because it is a paste. So it does work really well. And once I start working more, I think it'd be a great choice for collage. But if you get it and it's dry, return it, because it shouldn't be. I'm actually thinking I've been meaning to call the company and tell them about my experience. I wish, and this is what Anna from the art supply store was saying, was darn, we wish that it came in smaller containers, and I think that would solve the problem. So let's see if I got this last piece to stick. Didn't? Okay. That's all right. No big deal. Okay. Now, if you have, you can see, I'm going to show you this. You see this corner? It's like perfect. And I didn't do anything special. I just cut it. But it's perfectly mitered. And I used to do that all the time, but you get out of practice with things, and that's that. So just if you have a little extra, that's okay. Just sort of pinch it in and go ahead and stick it down. And if you don't like Yes paste, I'm going to wipe my hands down again because my hands are gluey, and it's really to keep a rag or what are those called? Baby wipes. And speaking of baby wipes, we've had some great news around here. I'm going to be grandmother in February with my first grandchild, so we're all really excited about that. My daughter and son-in-law are expecting a little boy. So we're all pretty excited about that. And since they're so close by, they live close by, we'll have a lot of baby access, I guess you would call it, baby access. So that has been just such a bright spot for me, and I'm so excited. I love kids, and I really, really am looking forward to that. Okay, so we just want to now go around this board again and make sure we've got everything settled. Okay, that is good. That is good. I think what I'm going to do is grab a piece of paper so I can do the inside of this cover. I forgot to do that. And I'm also going to get rid of this because this that particular card is crummy. Let me grab a rag. Of course, I don't have any. There's no. Okay, let's set that aside. All right. Let me grab a piece. I think I'm going to grab that book, the paper from Joggles. I'm coming back here. Let's see. I'm going to throw this in a container of water and find another. I think that's nice. It's just usually you leave less. You leave about a 1/4 inch. This should be about a 1/4 inch smaller than the board, the inside cover paper. So let me see. No, that's the wrong color anyway. Let's see. To me, this is the most difficult part. Or it's the most difficult and the most fun part of creating a journal. And you know what? Even though this is, let me see if, since this is just for me, and I can get 2 pieces out of this, so I will. I still want to use that red. Let's see. Here I am trying to make a decision again. Oh God, I wish somebody was on the chat. I would ask you guys. I think I like that. So the idea behind this sketchbook was to have a sketchbook specifically for watercolor and just do a lot of drawing and sketching in there. So we'll see. I am still not 100%. My fine motor with my hand is still not great, but I have a pile of paper here. Let's get rid of that. This could be any kind of paper, really. You could use scrap paper for this, and it would be beautiful, just as nice. I'm just going to tear this with my ruler. Again, you can feel free to use. And you can see that that's a bit small, but I don't care. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, let's see if I can let me get this cleaned up. I'm just trying not to get glue all over the book. It just makes for a mess. If you're doing some really fine bookbinding, again, you would keep this border about a 1/4 inch all around. So this paper would be 1/2 inch smaller than this board. Either way, this paper would be about 1.5 inches larger than this board all the way around. And do always keep in mind this width, because that could trip you up. That can trip you up, frankly. Let's see if I can find another. Looks like I have a couple of driver's licenses here. Oh, geez. Okay, I'll try not to show my address too much. Okay. And this is the lock-to paper from Joggles. I happen to really love this paper. It's a nice lightweight, and it has just a real nice flexibility. It's a handmade paper, and it has a nice fibrous feel to it. Again, wiping up the glue. Okay, I totally missed a part of this. I can feel myself kind of getting tired. So let me finish this. And like I said, I mean, you can use Elmer's glue, you can use gesso, you can use, for heaven's sakes, if it's a casual binding, you can use glue stick for this. I, um, in the past, always used a mixture of methyl cellulose paste that comes as a powder, and you mix it. I used to use that. Yeah, I just didn't work that in enough on the cover. Okay, let's get that up. And I'm just going to leave this board over here and center it. And actually, that looks kind of nice. Remember, too, that paper does sort of stretch, especially a paper like this looked up paper. It does have a tendency to stretch a little bit. So that's nice and straight and clean. I'm just going to fold that mess in, and I can take this right to my sink and use it. I like that red now that I see it, and I'm just going to, I like the bits sticking out. That's fine by me. You could, of course, trim it away. So, yeah, that's it for me today. I'm going to go ahead and cover the other piece, the other board, which is sitting right here, all ready to go, burnished and ready to go. And bone folding this really good. I think I probably did not get enough glue in there, but that's all right. So I wanted to thank you again for joining me today. I'll put this up on, it'll be up as, you know, on my channel. And I hope to get to live streams more often, because it means I don't have to edit my videos, and editing is impossible for me. I just can't edit anymore with my hand. It's too much mouse action. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for all your support over the past few months, and I hope to see you again real soon. Bye now.